Most people think respect is earned by being nice. They are dead wrong. Being agreeable, polite, or trying to please everyone does not make people listen to you. It makes you predictable, forgettable, and easy to manipulate. The world doesn't reward kindness alone. Influence, control, and perception decide who rises and who falls. Every day, you see people who are technically less skilled, less intelligent, or even less experienced climb faster than others. Why? Because they understand the hidden rules of power. They know how to make others see them as someone worth following, someone worth fearing, someone worth respecting. And that, right there, is the first lesson. Perception always outweighs reality. Imagine walking into a room where everyone talks over each other. Most people immediately try to outshout or outcharm their peers. The result? Chaos, confusion, and being ignored. But one person enters quietly, scans the room, and observes. They note who dominates the conversation, who avoids eye contact, who seeks approval. Within minutes, without saying a word, they are noticed. This is not luck, it is mastery of subtle control. You will learn how to become that person. How to make others automatically defer to your presence, your ideas, and your authority. In the next 36 minutes, you'll learn 10 dark psychology tactics that give you immediate respect from anyone. No matter your background, your experience, or your current social standing. These are not empty theories. They are actionable, ruthless strategies that world leaders, top CEOs, and elite influencers use every single day. These tactics allow you to command attention in meetings, social gatherings, or online spaces without forcing yourself into the spotlight. You will learn to make your presence felt the moment you walk into any room, to make your words resonate deeper, and to ensure that your influence spreads without effort. Every second you delay applying these strategies, you are losing power. Every weak move, every hesitation, every attempt to be liked is being exploited. The world will not wait for you to figure it out. Competitors, colleagues, and rivals are already playing the game. The difference between those who lead and those who follow is simple: mastery of perception. Today you will learn how to command it, how to make people see you as someone of consequence, someone whose opinion matters, someone whose respect must be earned. You will observe how people treat the weak versus the confident. You will notice who naturally commands attention without raising their voice. You will understand why some individuals can bend rooms to their will, while others struggle to be heard. And by the end of this video, one final strategy will completely alter how everyone reacts to you. It will ensure that in every interaction, people take you seriously, defer to your judgment, and instinctively respect your authority. Like this video if you're ready to stop being overlooked. Comment below with the last time someone underestimated you, and get ready to change it forever. The 1% who apply these principles will never be ignored again. Most people will never even realize the power they're missing, but you will, starting now. Have you ever felt invisible in a room? Like your ideas, your voice, your presence barely register, no matter how much effort you put in? You're not imagining it. Most ambitious individuals face this quietly crushing frustration every day. You speak up in meetings, offer solutions, or share insights, and yet somehow others dominate the attention. Your contributions are overlooked, dismissed, or forgotten. You leave conversations wondering why your input didn't carry weight, why respect seems so effortlessly granted to some and denied to you. Every missed opportunity, every insult ignored, every subtle manipulation you fell for has a cost. It chips away at your power, your status, and your confidence. Small moments accumulate into larger patterns. Colleagues take credit for your ideas, friends or partners sidestep your authority, rivals quietly undermine you. Each of these interactions teaches a harsh lesson. In the absence of control over perception, you are vulnerable. And vulnerability in a world that rewards dominance is expensive. You feel it in your gut. Frustration, resentment, maybe even humiliation. But too often you push those feelings down, hoping someone will notice you. They won't. The world does not reward passivity or niceness. You feel trapped, unheard, stuck in a cycle of rejection that repeats itself with every interaction. You try harder, speak louder, or over-explain yourself, and yet the results remain the same. The frustration builds. Every ignored comment, every dismissive glance, every underestimated move adds weight to the growing sense that influence is reserved for others, that leadership is given, not taken. It's a bitter truth, but one you can change immediately. The truth is simple. It's not about who you are. It's about how you make people perceive you. Perception, not effort, determines respect, authority, and influence. And perception is fully under your control. These 10 dark psychology tactics are designed to give you that control. They will teach you how to flip power dynamics in your favor, how to gain respect instantly, and how to influence people so that your presence is felt and your voice is heard. Start by observing the patterns around you this week. Identify moments where you were ignored or overlooked. Reflect on the social cues, the body language, or the timing that undermined your presence. Each observation is a building block, an opportunity to master the subtle psychology that most people never even notice. By the end of this journey, you won't just participate in conversations. You will dominate them, command attention, and ensure your authority is recognized, whether in a boardroom, a social circle, or any space you enter. Law 1. Command silence. Speak strategically. Respect is not given to those who talk endlessly. It is given to those who speak with purpose, with precision, and with restraint. Silence, when mastered, is one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. It creates mystery, authority, and influence. People naturally assume that someone who does not overshare is in control, confident, and aware. They project competence onto the silent individual, often without realizing why they are drawn to listen. Oversharing, on the other hand, signals insecurity, weakness, and a need for validation. It makes you predictable and easy to manipulate. The world responds to perception, and nothing shapes perception faster than controlled speech. When your words are scarce, they are valuable. When your words are deliberate, they carry weight. Consider the behavior of successful CEOs or world leaders in meetings. They do not fill silence with idle chatter. They listen, observe, and intervene only when their input will have maximum impact. When they speak, every word is calculated, deliberate, and memorable. Their silence makes others lean forward. Their words make others act. In boardrooms, negotiations, and social interactions, the ability to remain quiet while others scramble to be heard is a subtle form of dominance. It shifts attention toward you without demanding it. The quiet person always draws more focus than the loud one, because the world subconsciously equates measured speech with power, wisdom, and control. To apply this principle, begin by observing your own conversations. Notice how often you speak to fill silence, to impress, or to avoid discomfort. Recognize that every unnecessary word diminishes your authority. Start practicing deliberate pauses before responding. Measure each word you intend to speak. Ask yourself, does this statement enhance my influence, or am I reacting emotionally? Over time, your speech should feel intentional rather than reactive. Make it your goal that every sentence you speak carries impact, that it is concise, strategic, and impossible to ignore. In social situations, practice listening more than speaking. Ask questions that guide the conversation subtly without exposing your thoughts entirely. In professional settings, prepare your points in advance, then deliver them when they will have maximum resonance. Avoid the temptation to comment on every detail or to respond immediately. Silence creates tension. Tension commands attention. Attention builds influence. Those who master the art of strategic speech rarely need to assert themselves. Verbally, they are respected and deferred to naturally. Comment below with an example of a time you spoke too quickly and wished you hadn't. Start observing where silence could give you power. The 1% who learn to control their voice will notice others leaning in to hear every word. Most people will never experience the authority that comes from deliberate speech, but you will, starting today. Law 2. Use body language to dominate. Space power is rarely spoken. It is displayed. Every gesture, every posture, every movement communicates authority before you even utter a word. The way you carry yourself determines how others perceive your confidence, competence, and dominance. Open posture, steady gaze, and controlled gestures signal control, command, and self-assurance. Conversely, closed-off body language, slouched shoulders, fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, projects weakness and uncertainty. Influence begins with how you occupy space. People instinctively defer to those who appear unshakable, confident, and aware. The body is a silent instrument of power. Master it, and you master perception itself. Look at military leaders, top executives, and influential speakers. They rarely shout to command attention. They enter a room calmly, shoulders squared, movements deliberate, and eyes scanning with quiet authority. Their presence alone shifts the energy of the space. People instinctively adjust their behavior, defer to their opinions, and recognize their leadership without a single word being spoken. This is the essence of non-verbal dominance. Authority is communicated through action, not assertion. You don't need permission to command respect. You need awareness of how you present yourself. To apply this tactic, begin by practicing how you enter any space. Walk deliberately, not hurriedly. Keep your shoulders back, your chest open, and your head held high. Maintain a steady gaze, not staring aggressively but projecting focus and attentiveness. Each movement should feel intentional, controlled, and measured. Avoid fidgeting, excessive gestures, or nervous habits that diminish your perceived power. Every adjustment you make to your body language reinforces the perception of authority. When interacting with others, use gestures sparingly but decisively. A slow nod can emphasize agreement or understanding. A calm, controlled hand movement can reinforce your point without over-explaining. Lean slightly forward when asserting key ideas to draw attention, then step back to signal confidence and independence. In group settings, occupy space confidently. Stand or sit where your presence is visible but not overpowering. Allow others to move around you, but maintain your composure. The room naturally adapts to the person who commands it physically before any words are spoken. Start observing how others respond when you adjust your posture and movements. Notice the respect, attention, and influence that comes from projecting calm dominance. Comment below with an instance this week where confident body language could have changed the outcome of a conversation. Like this video if you're ready to occupy space with authority. The 1% who master non-verbal power will see doors open and people defer effortlessly. Most will never realize the silent force of presence, but you will, starting today. Law 3. Control the narrative. Power flows to those who define the story. Influence is rarely won by facts alone. It is won by framing, interpretation, and perception. If you allow others to define your actions, your intentions, or your character, you surrender control. People respect those who tell the story on their terms, who set the context before anyone else can. A single well-placed explanation, a precise statement, or a confident account of events can shift perception, earn respect, and neutralize criticism. Those who fail to control the narrative find themselves constantly reacting, explaining, or defending, which signals weakness and invites manipulation. Consider how politicians, CEOs, and top influencers operate. They rarely allow rumors, missteps, or disputes to shape their image. They manipulate the narrative to maintain authority and command respect. A single press release, a carefully timed statement, or a confident explanation can transform a potential setback into a demonstration of competence. The public, colleagues, or competitors take cues from how the story is presented. Those who act first, articulate clearly, and control context always dominate perception. Power lies in defining the truth, not just reacting to events. To apply this principle, begin by taking control in every interaction where your reputation or influence is at stake. In conflicts, negotiations, or even casual discussions, present your version of events first. Be precise, concise, and confident. Make your position clear before others have the opportunity to distort it or inject doubt. When you speak, ensure your words guide perception. Do not argue endlessly or over-explain. Instead, craft statements that assert your authority and shape how others interpret your actions. Observe conversations where opinions clash and notice who controls the flow of ideas. The person who sets the context first, explains intentions clearly, and frames decisions strategically almost always dominates. Even subtle moments matter. A calm explanation of your actions in a meeting, a well-structured social media post, or a confident recounting of events to peers can tilt perception in your favor. Narrative control is not about lying, it is about asserting your perspective decisively so others cannot misinterpret or manipulate it. Practice this daily. Before responding to criticism, formulate your explanation. Before entering a negotiation, decide how the story of your value will be communicated. Watch how people shift their behavior once your version of events becomes the dominant frame. Comment below with a situation where someone misrepresented you and reflect on how controlling the narrative could have changed the outcome. Like this video if you're ready to take ownership of your story. The 1% who master narrative control gain respect effortlessly. Most will never understand the power of framing, but you will, starting now. Law 4. Exploit scarcity. Value is not determined solely by skill, knowledge, or effort. It is determined by perception, and perception is shaped by scarcity. The more accessible you are, the less respect you command. Being constantly available signals desperation, dependence, and a lack of control. Conversely, those who are selective with their time, attention, and presence immediately increase their perceived value. Scarcity creates demand. People respect and chase those who are not easily obtained. They listen more closely, defer more readily, and assign importance to every interaction because access is limited. Look at top consultants, elite advisors, and influential leaders. They do not accept every client, attend every meeting, or respond instantly to every message. Their selective approach makes their time valuable and their input respected. When they speak, their words carry weight because others know that access is earned, not granted freely. The scarcity of opportunity amplifies influence. It transforms ordinary interactions into moments of significance. People instinctively recognize the power of those who are difficult to obtain and treat their attention with the respect it deserves. To apply this principle, begin by auditing your availability. Reduce unnecessary social media activity, limit casual conversations, and avoid immediately answering every request for your time. Set boundaries that communicate that your presence is valuable and that engagement with you is not automatic. In professional settings, decline meetings or calls that do not serve a strategic purpose. In social settings, allow people to seek your attention rather than giving it freely. Each small act of restriction strengthens perception of your worth. Practice subtle scarcity every day. When someone requests a meeting, pause before agreeing. When friends or colleagues expect instant replies, delay intentionally, but courteously. Observe the difference in how they treat your time once they realize it is not guaranteed. Scarcity is a form of psychological leverage. It forces others to invest more energy, thought, and respect into interactions with you. It positions you as someone of consequence, someone whose presence and approval are earned, not taken for granted. Comment below with an example where being overly available cost you respect. Like this video if you're ready to stop being taken for granted. The 1% who master scarcity see others adjust their behavior automatically, treating their attention as precious. Most people will never grasp the power of absence, but you will, starting today. Law 5. Mirror confidence. Not aggression. Respect is never earned through anger, yelling, or emotional outbursts. Those who lash out or react impulsively may momentarily intimidate, but long-term influence and authority come from composed confidence. People instinctively follow those who remain calm under pressure, who navigate challenges with measured poise, and who respond strategically rather than emotionally. Aggression signals instability, lack of control, and vulnerability. Confidence signals mastery, strength, and the ability to lead. The difference is subtle but decisive. One provokes fear or avoidance. The other commands respect and attention. Observe high-impact leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs like Elon Musk. Despite intense scrutiny, criticism, or high-stakes situations, he maintains composure. He doesn't react rashly to challenges or threats. His calm responses amplify his credibility, making people listen, trust, and admire his judgment. Confidence, when mirrored through composure, communicates power without hostility. Emotional self-control becomes a form of silent dominance. People defer to those who do not allow stress or provocation to dictate behavior. To apply this law, start by observing your emotional triggers. Identify situations where anger, frustration, or insecurity makes you react impulsively. Once aware, practice pausing before responding. Take a deep breath, assess the situation objectively, and craft a measured response that reflects control rather than emotion. Your goal is to mirror confidence, not aggression. Speak clearly, maintain calm body language, and project certainty even when under pressure. People respond more favorably to someone who is steady and composed than to someone who lashes out or overreacts. In daily interactions, whether in meetings, negotiations, or social situations, focus on maintaining poise. If provoked, let silence or a calm statement replace instinctive aggression. Avoid arguing for validation. Instead, assert your position with certainty and allow others to adjust to your composed energy. Over time, this practice trains others to recognize your authority and stability. It creates an aura of influence that makes your words carry weight, your opinions respected, and your presence commanding. Start small. Respond calmly to minor frustrations today, even when you feel provoked. Notice the difference in how people treat you when you remain composed rather than reactive. Comment below with a situation where anger undermined your authority and commit to mirroring confidence instead. Like this video if you're ready to project control over chaos. The 1% who master calm confidence earn respect effortlessly. Most people will never harness the power of composure, but you will, starting now. Law 6. Leverage. Psychological anchoring. First impressions are not merely fleeting. They set the standard for how others perceive you. The initial words, gestures, and actions you display create a mental anchor in people's minds. This anchor influences every subsequent judgment they make about you. If you start strong, projecting competence, authority, and confidence, others will interpret everything you do afterward through that lens. If you start weak, hesitant, or unsure, your credibility diminishes before the conversation even begins. Mastering psychological anchoring is about controlling perception from the very first moment, making sure people see you as capable, decisive, and commanding respect immediately. Negotiators, elite consultants, and world-class leaders use anchoring constantly. In business, they open discussions with high but reasonable demands or proposals. This first statement establishes a frame that favors their position, guiding expectations and influencing outcomes. Politicians, public speakers, and influencers also begin presentations, debates, or interviews with strong, confident statements. The effect is automatic. People measure all that follows against the anchor, often unconsciously, and you control the narrative. The first impression is not about arrogance. It is about establishing dominance in perception before others can challenge you. To apply this tactic, start every important interaction by presenting your strongest points first. Enter meetings prepared and deliver your key insights or arguments immediately. Begin conversations with confident statements that frame you as knowledgeable and authoritative. Ensure that your body language matches your verbal anchor. Shoulders squared, posture upright, and gaze steady. The combination of strong words and confident presence cements your first impression. Avoid starting weak, apologetic, or hesitant, as this undermines your perceived authority and forces you to play catch-up throughout the interaction. Even in casual interactions, anchoring matters. When meeting new colleagues, friends, or potential partners, your first gestures, tone, and confidence establish a template that shapes future perception. Small actions, like initiating a handshake with calm certainty or opening with a decisive statement, can set the standard for how others engage with you. The anchor influences how seriously your ideas are taken, how attentively people listen, and how much deference they give your authority. Practice anchoring daily. Before your next meeting, prepare your strongest points and decide how to deliver them confidently from the first moment. Observe how others respond when you set the frame. Comment below with an example where a weak start affected your influence and how you could have anchored differently. Like this video if you're ready to control first impressions. The 1% who master psychological anchoring dictate perception effortlessly. Most will never realize how much influence begins in the first few moments, but you will, starting today. Law 7. Employ strategic praise. Respect is not just earned through dominance or control. It is reinforced by subtle recognition of others' value. Strategic praise is a powerful tool to build loyalty, influence, and admiration without diminishing your authority. The key is to praise selectively and deliberately, never excessively and never in a way that appears weak or desperate. Compliments should feel earned, tied to real competence, and delivered with calm confidence. When done correctly, praise enhances your image as a leader who notices talent, rewards excellence, and commands respect, rather than someone seeking approval. Look at top leaders, executives, and world-class influencers. They rarely offer blanket compliments or empty flattery. Instead, they recognize achievements that matter, often in public settings where acknowledgement carries weight. A manager who praises an employee's strategic insight during a meeting reinforces their loyalty and positions themselves as fair, discerning, and influential. A politician who commends a colleague for a successful initiative earns goodwill while maintaining authority. This is not manipulation. It is mastery of perception, understanding that recognition, when deployed strategically, strengthens your influence. To apply this law, begin by observing those around you. Identify moments of genuine competence, effort, or achievement that are meaningful. When you acknowledge them, do so with precision, linking your praise to a specific action or result. Avoid generic statements like "good job" or overpraising minor efforts, which can undermine your authority. Instead, make your recognition feel earned and impactful. For example, "Your analysis in that report clarified the issue and shaped our decision. Well done." This approach ensures that praise elevates both the recipient and your perceived discernment. Strategic praise works best when it is subtle and well-timed. Public recognition during meetings or presentations maximizes its effect, reinforcing loyalty and admiration among peers. Private acknowledgement can also strengthen bonds and trust without showing favoritism. The principle is simple. The more selectively and deliberately you offer praise, the more it is valued and the stronger your influence becomes. Overuse or insincere flattery, on the other hand, erodes respect and signals weakness. Start practicing strategic praise today. Observe people's actions, wait for the right moments, and deliver acknowledgement that is specific, sincere, and tied to competence. Comment below with an example where strategic recognition could have strengthened your influence. Like this video if you're ready to use praise as a tool to enhance respect. The 1% who master this subtle art gain loyalty and admiration effortlessly. Most will never realize the quiet power of acknowledgement, but you will, starting today. Law 8. Make decisions. Swiftly and decisively, hesitation is the silent killer of respect. People instinctively notice uncertainty, doubt, and overthinking, and they unconsciously devalue those who cannot make firm decisions. Authority is not earned by waiting for perfect conditions or seeking endless input. It is earned by acting confidently, with calculated judgment. Decisiveness communicates control, competence, and leadership. When you make decisions swiftly, others perceive you as someone capable of handling pressure, someone worthy of trust, and someone who commands attention without question. Indecision, on the other hand, signals weakness and invites others to take control. Observe the behavior of successful CEOs, world leaders, and top entrepreneurs during crises. The people who gain immediate respect are rarely those who pause endlessly to weigh every option. They act decisively, making swift, informed choices that inspire confidence and compel others to follow. A leader who hesitates in a critical moment loses authority. A leader who acts decisively, even with some risk, demonstrates mastery and control. Decisive action creates momentum, establishes dominance, and sets the standard for how others respond to challenges. To apply this law, start by reducing overthinking in your daily interactions. When presented with a choice, gather the necessary facts quickly, assess risks logically, and commit to a course of action without delay. Avoid the temptation to seek constant validation or second-guess every decision. Confidence in your judgment is amplified by speed and precision. Once a decision is made, act immediately. Swift execution reinforces authority, communicates competence, and prevents others from challenging or undermining your position. Decisiveness also influences perception beyond direct decisions. Even small choices, what you say in a meeting, how you respond to messages, which projects you prioritize, shape how people view your confidence and capability. Practice taking ownership of decisions, communicating them clearly, and moving forward without hesitation. Your decisiveness will create respect, build trust, and position you as a leader others naturally follow. Start implementing this today. Identify one decision you have been delaying and commit to acting on it immediately. Observe how people respond when you move confidently and without hesitation. Comment below with a situation where indecision cost you influence, and like this video if you're ready to command authority through swift action. The 1% who master decisiveness shape perception effortlessly. Most will never realize how much authority comes from timely action, but you will, starting now. Law 9. Control emotional exposure. Power is often revealed in how you manage your emotions. People respect those whose reactions are unpredictable yet controlled, those who do not allow anger, frustration, or desperation to dictate their behavior. Emotional transparency may seem authentic, but in reality, it is a vulnerability that others exploit. The more predictable your reactions are, the more others can manipulate, intimidate, or take advantage of you. Respect grows when people cannot read your emotional state easily. It grows when they are aware that no matter the pressure, you remain composed, deliberate, and in control. Consider skilled negotiators, elite leaders, and high-level executives. They never display desperation, panic, or emotional agitation. Even in high-stakes scenarios, they maintain a calm exterior, preserving their leverage. A negotiator who reacts emotionally loses bargaining power. One who remains measured forces the other party to adapt. Emotional control is not suppression, it is mastery. By regulating your reactions, you ensure that influence stays in your hands, that power is never ceded to others, and that your presence commands respect regardless of circumstances. To apply this law, begin by observing your emotional triggers. Identify moments when stress, insult, or provocation causes you to react impulsively. Practice pausing, breathing, and assessing the situation before responding. Develop a calm, measured tone that conveys authority without aggression. Your goal is to respond strategically, not emotionally. By doing so, you prevent others from predicting your reactions, which enhances your control over interactions and outcomes. Emotional exposure also impacts perception in everyday settings. In meetings, a calm response to criticism signals competence and resilience. In negotiations, maintaining composure under pressure ensures that others view you as capable and trustworthy. In social interactions, controlling your emotional display projects confidence and self-mastery. The consistent effect is clear. People defer to those who manage their internal state because they instinctively recognize stability as a sign of power. Start implementing emotional control today. In your next interaction, notice how you feel before responding and consciously choose a calm, deliberate response. Comment below with a time when emotions undermined your authority and consider how a measured reaction could have changed the outcome. Like this video if you're ready to keep your power by mastering your emotional state. The 1% who control their emotional exposure maintain influence effortlessly. Most will never realize how much authority lies in composure, but you will, starting now. Law 10. Master the art of strategic retreat. True power is not demonstrated by fighting every battle. It is demonstrated by knowing which battles are worth your energy and which are not. Respect grows when others see that you do not react impulsively, that you conserve your strength, and that you engage only when it serves your objectives. Strategic retreat is not weakness, it is mastery. It signals control, foresight, and the confidence to wait for the perfect moment. Those who fight every skirmish exhaust themselves, make unnecessary enemies, and diminish their authority. Those who retreat wisely preserve their influence and project strength. Consider the strategies of successful generals, elite leaders, and influential business figures. They understand that retreat is tactical, not cowardly. By withdrawing from battles with little value or unfavorable conditions, they conserve resources, avoid unnecessary risk, and protect their reputation. Their opponents often overextend themselves, exposing weaknesses that can be exploited later. The retreat is calculated, deliberate, and executed with calm authority. People respect those who do not flinch under pressure, yet do not waste energy on fruitless conflict. This control demonstrates mastery and earns long-term influence. To apply this law, begin by evaluating every conflict or disagreement you face. Ask yourself, does engaging serve my goals, enhance my influence, or protect my reputation? If the answer is no, withdraw gracefully. Avoid unnecessary confrontation or reactive arguments that give others leverage over your emotions or time. By stepping back strategically, you force others to overcommit or reveal their weaknesses, giving you the advantage when the right opportunity arises. Retreat should be executed with composure, subtlety, and confidence so that it appears intentional, not fearful. Even in social or professional settings, the art of retreat is powerful. Decline invitations, avoid debates that drain influence, or disengage from gossip and low-value conflicts. By doing so, you signal that your energy is precious, your attention selective, and your actions deliberate. Others will notice, recalibrate their approach, and treat your presence and decisions with greater respect. Strategic retreat turns perceived absence into power and patience into dominance. Start practicing strategic retreat today. Identify one low-value conflict this week and step back intentionally. Comment below with an example where engagement drained your influence and consider how a graceful withdrawal could have shifted perception. Like this video if you're ready to conserve your energy and command respect through restraint. The 1% who master tactical retreat control outcomes effortlessly. Most will never realize that sometimes power is best displayed by stepping back, but you will, starting now. Law 11. Use the power of reputation. Your reputation is one of your most powerful assets. It precedes you, shaping how others perceive your competence, authority, and integrity before you even speak or act. People often defer to reputation rather than reality. The perception of skill, reliability, and decisiveness drives influence. A strong reputation opens doors, commands respect, and allows you to operate with a level of authority that words alone cannot achieve. Conversely, a damaged reputation undermines every action, erodes influence, and invites manipulation. In the game of power, perception is reality, and your reputation is its foundation. Consider the behavior of famous leaders, top executives, and influential figures. They guard their reputations with meticulous care, understanding that rumors, missteps, or inconsistent behavior can destroy years of accumulated authority. A single, misjudged statement, a failed commitment, or a public scandal can erase trust and respect in an instant. Reputation is not built overnight. It is earned through consistent demonstration of competence, reliability, and strategic action. Once established, it acts as a shield, granting influence and leeway that others cannot command. Those who ignore its importance quickly find themselves struggling for credibility. To apply this law, start by actively monitoring how people perceive you. Ask yourself, what do colleagues, peers, or competitors associate with my name? Then, cultivate your achievements and narratives deliberately. Highlight successes that reinforce competence and integrity. Share stories of decisive action, leadership, or problem-solving that demonstrate skill without arrogance. Avoid unnecessary controversy, exaggeration, or behavior that could undermine credibility. Your reputation is built as much by subtle, consistent choices as by major accomplishments. Every interaction either reinforces it or erodes it. Reputation management also extends to social and digital environments. Be mindful of what you post, share, or endorse. Align public perception with the persona you want to project: capable, confident, and respected. Strategic storytelling, consistent performance, and visible integrity reinforce your authority, ensuring that when opportunities arise, people are predisposed to trust and follow you. Conversely, neglecting reputation allows others to fill the Narrative with doubt, speculation, or criticism, which erodes influence before you can assert it. Start strengthening your reputation today. Identify one area where perception does not reflect your true competence and take deliberate steps to correct it. Comment below with a time when your reputation influenced an outcome, and like this video if you're ready to harness the power of perception. The 1% who master reputation control, command, trust, and authority effortlessly. Most will never appreciate the strategic value of reputation, but you will, starting now. Law 12. Project future potential. People are drawn to those who appear destined for greatness. Ambition is magnetic, and projecting a vision of future success commands respect before achievements are even realized. When others perceive you as someone on an upward trajectory, they naturally defer, admire, and seek alignment with your path. Influence is not only about what you have accomplished, it is equally about the potential they see in you. The aura of future power creates anticipation, intrigue, and a psychological advantage that few can resist. Those who fail to project potential risk being underestimated, overlooked, or ignored. Or consider entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, or other visionary leaders. Before their achievements became tangible, they projected innovation, ambition, and a sense of inevitability. People followed, invested, and deferred to their vision because they sensed that greatness was imminent. Their reputation, influence, and authority grew alongside, not just because of their results, but because of the promise of what was coming. Projecting potential is a form of strategic perception. It shifts focus from current accomplishments to future impact, allowing you to gain respect and leverage even before outcomes are achieved. To apply this law, begin by framing your actions and words around what is next, not just what you have done. Speak confidently about upcoming projects, plans, or goals in a way that signals certainty and competence. Maintain body language and demeanor that reflect ambition, controlled, purposeful, and forward-looking. Your presence should communicate progress, momentum, and focus, creating an impression that you are constantly evolving toward greater influence. Avoid over-explaining or making promises you cannot keep. The goal is subtlety. Hint at future achievements to create intrigue, not arrogance. In professional, social, and digital interactions, cultivate an aura of forward motion. Share milestones selectively, highlighting progress that points to bigger accomplishments. Frame conversations to reflect long-term vision, not short-term victories. People instinctively respect and follow those who demonstrate a trajectory of growth, competence, and ambition. The anticipation of your next move positions you as someone worth observing, aligning with, and deferring to. Start practicing this today. Identify one area where you can hint at future success without revealing everything. Comment below with a personal goal that signals ambition and potential, and like this video if you're ready to project authority through forward-looking confidence. The 1% who master the projection of future potential inspire respect effortlessly. Most will never recognize the power of perceived inevitability, but you will, starting now. You've just completed a journey through 12 powerful tactics designed to transform how the world perceives you. From commanding silence to speaking strategically, from dominating space with your presence to leveraging psychological anchoring, each law equips you with tools to turn perception into respect. You've learned how to control narratives, exploit scarcity, mirror confidence, and regulate emotional exposure. You now understand how strategic praise, decisive action, reputation management, and the projection of future potential amplify influence and authority. Every principle is designed to give you immediate power in your interactions, positioning you as someone others naturally defer to, listen to, and respect. The transformation begins with awareness and deliberate application. You are no longer invisible, overlooked, or dismissed. You are deliberate in your speech, measured in your actions, and commanding in every interaction. You have learned to move through spaces with authority, influence perception with subtlety, and assert control without overexertion. Your presence now carries weight, your words resonate, and your reputation precedes you. You are not seeking validation. You are demanding respect through mastery of perception, timing, and strategy. Every room you enter, every conversation you have, and every opportunity you encounter is now influenced by the silent power you carry. But knowledge alone is not enough. Action is where transformation solidifies. Apply these strategies daily. Observe how people respond differently when you speak less, but with more impact, when your posture and presence command attention, and when your words shape the story instead of reacting to others. Notice how scarcity, confidence, and emotional control alter how people engage with you. Implement strategic praise and selective recognition to reinforce loyalty. Make decisions swiftly and decisively. Retreat strategically to conserve strength. Protect and cultivate your reputation. Project the promise of future potential in everything you do. The changes will be subtle at first, but the results are immediate. Respect is noticed, influence grows, and power shifts in your favor. Now take the next step. Subscribe for more strategies that give you an edge in life, business, and leadership. Comment below with which tactic you will use first. Which law will you apply in your next interaction to command respect, influence decisions, and assert your authority? By committing to deliberate, consistent action, you join the 1% who master perception and wield influence effortlessly. Remember this: power is always about control, perception, and timing. It is earned by those who understand human psychology, act with precision, and cultivate authority in every sphere of life. Master these 12 tactics and you will never be underestimated again. You will move with purpose, command attention, and ensure your presence is felt. Influence, respect, and authority are no longer privileges for the few. They are tools you now hold in your hands. Apply them, master them, and watch as the world begins to respond to the confident, deliberate, and strategic force you have become.